oh, this woman got a high body count. Well, guess what? She didn't get there by herself. You can't keep blaming women for everything. What about the accountability for all the brothers who laid up in her in the first place to give her the high body count? The problem is we're out here playing grown-ups and we ain't grown up. What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Thatbaldbrutha, and you saw the thumbnail, so you know what's about to happen. We're going to get into this whole Fresh Prince CEO Walter Weeks situation. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment to kind of set the board, right? Most of us already know who Fresh and Fit are. We've seen their channel, and we all know what they do. Their claim is to be helping men become better men through finances, dating, relationships, business, what have you. But if you watch their channel, you tend to see a lot of the focus being on the dating scene and basically talking shit to women. It's interesting when you watch this situation play out, when you have one of the people who claim to be a guru in the space, an expert, if you will, about dating and women and relationships, goes out here and makes a mistake that is 100% contradictory to the message you claim to be sending out to men. And what I noticed when I watched the responses, when I watched their response to the drama as it unfolded in the beginning parts of it, they missed a very unique opportunity. As a content creator, you have to know that what you say carries weight. People will say, okay, this person stands for X, that person stands for Y. So you know what that person stands for. And if they do something that's opposite of that, it just erases the credibility, whatever credibility they had. And in this situation, rather than taking accountability, which is something that real men do, especially with all the receipts that are flying around now with $15,000 bracelet, or half of the price of the bracelet being paid for, or text messages and voice calls, you can't to sit on a platform and act like you don't hear yourself saying these things and that wasn't me is the ultimate gaslighting attempt. And to think that people are going to believe that and go for it is just beyond my comprehension. And I'm sure there's some that are on that bandwagon, but God bless you. But what I noticed overall in this situation was that pride is a dangerous thing. If you're so big that you feel that you can't take accountability for your actions, you can't own the fact that you made some mistakes, then how can you teach men to be better men? So going back to what I said a minute ago with the unique opportunity that was missed, you could have sat down and told your viewers, you know what, fellas, I fucked up. I know I tell you guys to do X, Y, and Z when it comes to dating women. And I know this is the lifestyle that we encourage you guys to live by. I got caught up. I was moving recklessly, and this is the situation right here. What I want you to know is I'm taking accountability, taking responsibility for my actions, because I need you to understand the importance of that. See, right there, that right there would have gone a lot further than you having a temper tantrum and screaming and yelling about loyalty over accountability and breaking your coffee glass, your Frank Castle glass. That would have gone further had you done that. But I get it. When the brand is in danger, damage control has to happen. We got to get out here and start throwing all kind of shade against the woman to throw the scent off of what I'm doing, so y'all can focus on her and leave me the hell alone. Now, to your comment about loyalty over accountability, that ain't real loyalty, because a real man is going to hold his friends accountable. That's loyalty, holding them accountable to their mistakes and saying, you messed up, you got to fix this and come correct about it. Not some all flip chance, oh, I gave it to him. I talked to him I talked to him about what he did wrong, and then still quickly veer into going somewhere else and talking about the woman, not focusing on what was discussed. What did you learn? How do you go forward from here? What are you going to do to be the responsible man in the situation? Now, going over here to you talking about you want to throw it all on her. Bruv, you chose her. You were dating her. We see the receipts with you in the truck talking about how much you love her, right? That's you on that, right? That's you walking down the street in Miami getting pictures taken, smiling, cheesing. That's you standing next to your mama, showing her off. Now, maybe that's your game. Maybe you take every woman you date to see your mother and you do all these whining and dining things and love bomb them as a way to get their attention. Hell, during the fucking phone call, you even admitted that you slept with other women, 4 other women, that you now got to get tested for them because they might be pregnant. But again, this is how real men move. This is what you purport to be trying to sell to people. This is what you claim to be doing to try to educate men. Now, we're not excusing Daisy from her mistakes though, because she's made some questionable choices too. We can all speculate about how she might be out. This is all a baby trap, and no one's saying that it's not. But we're focusing on the man side of it because at the end of the day, that's what I'm about. That's what this channel is about. We're about holding men accountable so we can know better and do better. And then right here, this whole situation, in my opinion, is a perfect example of what happens when maturity is not present, when you get an abundance of money and don't know how the hell to act when you have it, and trying to play up to an illusionary fan base, thinking that if this is how you're going to do it, by gaslighting people to make them think that somehow you're not at fault. Another bad thing about this is that because we live in a modern society where everything has to be turned over to the court of public opinion, we're watching this scenario play out online in real time. Now, I kind of understand why Daisy has taken this position, because she feels that she's going to be spun into a negative light and she wants to get her side of the story put out. I don't agree with the fact that she's on every fucking platform now telling that same story or variations of it, because it only makes things look worse. Like you're trying to intentionally get out here and spin this. I'm not surprised at what Fresh and Fit are doing, because that's just how they move. Trying to embarrass people and guilt them into submission by going online and trying to solve your problems there is never a good look. As men in relationships or our dealings in general, we need to be able to have adult conversations, be mature enough to say, you know what, let's talk about this. Let's work this out. There's no need for us to go online and bash each other about this. Even on Fresh and Fit side, you could have just stayed offline to say, you know what, Fresh is not here. He got to deal with some personal shit. He's working on that offline. We'll talk about all that when it's all resolved. Now, the next part I want to talk about is the lack of dick discipline, right? As you build upon yourself, gentlemen, get your money right, get your health right, get your mind right, you're going to move into different circles where you're going to have a lot more opportunities to meet women. And with that growth has to come a level of maturity, so you understand how to deal with women and not allow yourself to get caught up in situations like this. What I saw here was a young man who clearly doesn't have a lot of experience with women, because he's out here running from woman to woman, sleeping around, unprotected, mind you, taking all kinds of risk out here trying to prove his manhood. The first thing I thought of when I heard of the way he was moving in the situation, his body count must be grossly overstated, because there's no way a man who's got 1,000 body count moves like this. This feels like someone who's brand new to the game, who has no idea what they're doing. So there's 3 things going on right here: new money, new pussy, no maturity. As I've said in the past, gentlemen, we have to move with intention when it comes to everything we do, including dating. If your intention is to be in a long-term relationship with someone, your actions should reflect that. Now, if you're out here playing games and just using that terminology, long-term relationship, to get what you want, that speaks more to your inability to be a man more than anything else, because you can't even be honest about what you want. If all you want to do is have sex, then just go out here and say that. Give the woman a choice. Let her know where you're coming from so she can make a conscious decision with both her eyes open. But to come out here out the gate deceiving all the way around, you know eventually that's going to catch up to you, right? This is why you're here today, because it's all catching up to you. This kind of behavior, gentlemen, is not going to last. Everything that's done in the dark comes to the light. You play around long enough, this is what happens. If you don't want kids, then you should act like that. You should move like someone who doesn't want kids. And the other thing that bothered me, I mean, Jesus Christ, when I heard the phone call and him saying that, oh, just take a pill, it's done. He didn't even blink an eye to think about what he was saying, to actually consider what he was suggesting, which told me this ain't his first time at this rodeo. This ain't the first time he suggested that a woman take the morning after pill to clean things up, to fix his problem. The first thing out your mouth is, oh, well, take care of it. That's your problem, fix it. Oh, you know what to do? I'll tell you. I got to run a prescription for you. I'll get you what you need. Take care of it. Not even taking into consideration the weight of the decision you're making. Another thing that bothers me about the situation is the reflection that it shows of our current dating culture in this society. Everything is about situationships. It's not about real relationships. No one has any care or concern about getting to know anybody. It's all about what you can do for me versus what I can do for you. It's not about anything beyond the surface. There's no connection. And all you're doing is breeding people that's going to get hurt and turn around and hurt more people. We're creating a vicious cycle of pain and trauma. And what I'll say about that is we need to let go of this fast food, instant gratification mentality that we have on everything. Nothing is moving fast enough. Or if I got to get out of my couch to go get food, I don't want it. If I can't get online and see it, I don't want to deal with it. If I can't buy it, if I can't have it shipped to me by Amazon, I don't want it. Having everything at our fingertips is a gift and a curse, in my opinion. It's important to remember, gentlemen, that again, as I said before, when you're moving with intention, you're going to want to get to know your potential mate, right? Part of growing up and having maturity as men, in addition to getting your shit together, getting your money together, getting your body and health and mind together, is knowing your own values, understanding your boundaries and what it is that you want in a relationship. If you want to be out here slanging and banging, understand the consequences that go along with that. Don't go out here in a delusional mindset that, oh, all I got to do is worry about this, or I ain't got to worry about the consequence. I can just go out here and do whatever I want. And it's the woman's problem to figure that out. Taking that position doesn't make you a better man. The last thing I'll talk about is the more money, more problems. You know, going back to what we kind of touched on earlier, that when you come into more money, there has to be a maturity level there. You can't just start running through money like a lottery. Like you see these stories online where lottery winners win millions of dollars and burn through it in like 2 years. You have to be smarter about what you're doing. And the problem that we have nowadays with the content creation generation that we live in now, people can become insta famous, but don't have any level of maturity to manage that. You're thrusting young people into a world where they're making all kinds of money, experiencing all kinds of different things, being put in different kinds of circles. And it's just a big danger zone for them because they don't know what they're doing out there, and they're just living recklessly. And then the next thing you know, someone's hurt, drugged up, attacked, assaulted, or broke. So ultimately, what can we learn from this, gentlemen? It's time to have the conversation where we understand what our purpose is, who we need to become to get what we want. We got to stop living in this world of blaming everybody else for our problems. This is not to exonerate women from having any fault. We can't talk about what's wrong with them until we correct what's wrong with us. As leaders in our community, that's where it begins. We have to set the example by taking care of ourselves first, getting ourselves right. And then we can go out here and lead these women the way they want to be led. The problem is we're out here playing grown-ups and we ain't grown up. You can't keep blaming women for everything. Oh, this woman got a high body count. Well, guess what? She didn't get there by herself. What about the accountability for all the brothers who laid up in her in the first place to give her the high body count? Yeah, she's at fault for the choices she's made. But if we men weren't running around trying to sleep with everything, body count wouldn't be an issue. We have to take responsibility for our part in the situation. It can't always be them, and women can't always blame us. We need to make sure we're doing everything we can to be the best men, best versions of ourselves we can be. And as I said at the very top, once we know better, we got to do better. I want to take a moment to thank you for coming through and checking out the video. I really appreciate your time. I know how valuable it is. If this message resonated with you or spoke to you on some level, it would be a great service to me if you can click that like button, let the algorithm know this is great content so we can get it out to more men to come through, get educated, learn, and become their best versions of themselves. Now, even beyond that, I appreciate you giving me the chance to earn your subscription. Now, I know one video isn't always good enough to do that. So I encourage you to check out these links over here before making your decision.